I stop that? Well, hopefully I can just do this. So I'm over here at the Greenway Creek Park, walking trail, which is southwest, which is part of the southwest portion of Madison, Alabama, and pretty much I'm going to be walking through some swampland and plenty of equestrians along the way. If people can see me, cool. I hope people can see me and hear me. So topic I kind of want that's on my mind is anime restoration and the whole process, which I have not worked on it. I don't know anything about Photoshop, but there's tidbits that I kind of know and some trends that I've seen over the years. I wish I was part of the AMV crowd to kind of understand how to edit. Well, I know how to edit video, but how to refine the quality and all other such possible to keep what you're seeing. Viewing quality is amazing. So some trends that I've seen before is back in the 2000s, everything what I saw was a lot of people trying to get rid of the film grain, try to update the HD, well, not HD, update the standard to not have the film grain and be solid colors. Some stuff it works better, some stuff it doesn't. And you have this other crowd that loves film grain. Nothing wrong with it, but depending on what you're watching, you kind of don't want it in Rice Krispie vision, if you will. One of the things of having film grain that makes certain things awesome and certain things kind of like there's too much is, or for what I understand, is let's see how many. Oh, cool, one person. Is it can be a candidate for the 4K format, cause let's face it, you're going to have high definition and low definition, or standard, if you will. Not everything has the potential or filming qualities to become that HD master that looks amazing, but still stuck in the standard, which is fine. You don't have to, not everything has to be the highest standard quality in order to enjoy a show. I mean, look at Married with Children. You can obviously tell when someone's thrown out the window or blasted across the room, that's an obviously fake dummy. I still get chuckles out of that. So what brought this up? I keep seeing Twitter posts from the Discotheque Media crew, and for some reason Blu-ray.com and their reviews. I see what Discotheque posts, or the people, well, not the company, but let's call them the bohemians that, oh, hello. Why, shit. I'm a film grain fanatic, awesome. What are your thoughts on Dirty Pair Blu-ray, such a high price, and the DNR and DNR'd it, I think. Okay, it's awesome that you like film grain. If you like the format, stick with it. Stick with it. Everyone has a niche for what they like. The Blu-ray for Dirty Pair. I've seen some trailers on it, and to me it looks good. I did fund the Kickstarter, and I paid it was either $350 or $400 to get the fancy art box. Honestly, when it's released, it should be like, my 2 cents, it should be like, if you want the complete collection, maybe $180, but if it's like separated out, maybe the TV series split into 2 parts, everything else into 1, but should be like in the 30ish range. I might be outdated on my pricing, but $30 per set sounds reasonable to me, but I'm not sure what they've relisted it for. Um, I'm glad it's finally getting dubbed. That's one thing that people way back when, like before they did this project, a lot of locals kept telling me it will never get dubbed and boast about how subtitles are the greatest. If you like subtitles, fine. If you like dub only, that's fine. I'm a hybridist, which means I want a choice. I hope I answered that question, but I'm not sure what they're currently stating the price for it for retail. I'm not sure if it's pre-orderable right now. Last I saw, they're still working on the dub and praising the new talents that they're getting to complete this dub of the series. Should a series be $350? Well, I think it depends on the episodes. The episode count should weigh how much you're getting it for, because let's face it, a lot of people worked on it, and there's a lot of time. 13 episodes and barely 3. If Marshall was, especially if there's a lot of action on the screen, show well 36.6 a full season. I would limited edition. I can see that being 120. I would say release it in 2 parts with 60 range. They're guns or jewelry, but not everything else like the. I know some people who they can read, but they can't follow the subtitles on the screen because it'll go to take a shot to refill that level. I think that's called dilation. I'm not sure. I don't wear glasses yet. So it takes them a while to readjust, maybe 3 days or a week or something. So you have people like that who can't really read during that certain time because their eyes are being readjusted for what's needed. So I see the need for both subtitles, dub titles, which are the people who can't hear well to get the localized language. And let's see, dub titles, subtitles, and if you can speak the language of nothing at all but the raw Japanese. Person coming up side here. Oh yeah, it's the. Let's see what else here. Oh yeah, go back through the tips on if something's new that's out and you want to try to get it cheaper. So if you know the certain title is being sold at like your Walmart, Target, etc., what you can do aside from just shoplifting, please don't do that. That means that they won't carry the product at the store. What you can do is look at Facebook Marketplace, local, see if someone watched it, went, I don't like this, threw it up for sale. You can go to your pawn shops, you can go to your Second and Charles or whatever movie place that might exchange or trade in all that good stuff. Kind of have to know your area, but usually if you can find it that way, you can shave off like maybe $20, $10, $5, something like that. It depends on the seller who's selling it, because there's some people who are like, hey, I want to get my money back because I didn't like it and I lost the receipt. You'll deal with those, or you deal with some that's like, yeah, that was nice. How much for a case of beer? Oh, that much? Hey, I want this much for that. It's just pick and choose on who's there or who's selling it. Shows that are film grain that look awesome, I would say would be like great teacher Onizuka. I like dragging half with the film grain myself. I would debatably, I would say Trigun, even though I think that's a digipaint show. But there's some stuff that I'm a little lost with, like when Discotheque released, I think the Nostradamus movie, it had film grain and paint scrapes, which threw me off because I'm used to the 2000s era, early 2000s era of trying to, quote, restore and have it in full colors. I talked to a friend of mine, and apparently what they're trying to do is, and this is fine, I just wasn't really clear of the mission statement, if you will, that what they're trying to do is try to restore it as historically accurate as possible. Okay, that's fine and Jim dandy and handy because I now have it, but just kind of took me a little bit because I thought people wanted to get rid of the scrapes of the paint. But regardless, still enjoyed the movie and didn't ruin the experience. What's the point of me saying all this? When you talk about restoration, I guess there's, wants to say two, you try to get it as historically accurate as possible, and the obvious make it clear as possible. Oh yeah, take a time to, like I said, the historian, here's some horses right behind me. Hopefully I got both of them. About to cross the street. Then you have, earlier I mentioned the Blu-ray people. Apparently one person tried to review Superman, and that was fine for what he reviewed. Just when you talk about image quality, he didn't take pictures of the image, which I thought was strange, but hey, it's Twitter. But then it roared about not having the images and all this type of snippety snap, if you will. I'm not gonna say names or anything like that. It's just kind of strange that there would be ego behind someone reviewing it than all these other people who do the work. I'm not saying that they have no right to say anything, but it's just strange that it exploded. But at the same time, since I can't go onto Blu-ray.com, I do not know what they're saying. Or I can go there, I just don't know how to explore it. If that makes sense. Let me check the chat here. Or I wish I can check the chat. Maybe I do it how it wants. Alright. So that's how I do it. Thank you, Mecha Plot, and thank you, Crossover Maniac. Other topics on my mind. One topic on my mind is the whole, when is a collection or when is it hoarding? That depends on two things: organization and real estate. If it's well organized and you know where it's at, that's part of a collection. If you do that and you can't walk through the room but you know the area, well, it's like pallet against pallet. That is hoarding, because you need the real estate to either display it or to get to it easily. Yeah, waiting both sides here. Busy road, busy road. Another thing for film restoration, if something is of 3D, like Shrek, you can get the film all day, but unless you have the program for it, you can't really do the really good touches to make it a higher quality as possible. Because if you have that program, you can tweak it a lot better than if you have the film stock itself. That's something I learned from another person while they were being rude, but anyway. passing by. Let's see, other collecting tips I can think of. If you're at a convention and you know the locals go to that convention, you can also check later after the convention to see what types of DVDs, Blu-rays, VHSs that they might pick up and have to pawn, if you will, or trade in, because a lot of people who go to conventions don't really keep up with their money, usually the younger crowd. So you might see some stuff you saw there, but at another place because they spent too much. Now, this might be an outdated tip because, well, most pawn shops are focusing more on jewelry and guns, and what I've seen from other conventions, they're more focused on, especially the local one here, they're more focused on candy and cosplay items, which is fine, but it's kind of frustrating for me because what I do is collect the DVD, Blu-ray, VHS, and maybe some manga. And it's strange that you have an anime convention, even though I know the one I'm talking about, the Rocket City Anime, I know that they're talking to people to try to get new vendors in to sell the stuff, because I've been talking around, and apparently they are doing that, so good luck for them. But it's just strange that they don't have it. Very awkward. Yeah, here's more of an equestrian. Kind of looks like the look up Little House on the Prairie ending and you'll see like the girl rushing through that kind of flannery, but more on a mountainous slope. So there you go. Let's see, anything else here? All right. Another collecting tip. If you're looking at your room, if you have the real estate, if you will, if you're looking at your room and you wonder how to store it, there's many ways that you can do it. The one that other people will do, because it's probably the cheapest, is to get some banker boxes and stack it up and label what's in it. But for those who want to like display it and all, I would recommend looking at for local sake, because I know the next option's not that available due to shipping and snubbery, get one of those Ameripress bookcases. This would have about 6 shelves on it, 7 if you can maintain the top. And what I prefer is the double shelf. What's a double shelf? Well, you have one shelf, you have a layer in the back, then you have a layer in the front. I don't know if y'all saw that. You have a shelf, you have a layer in the back, you have a layer in the front. I like that. It saves space, and when you're exploring, it feels like you're actually, like you're trying to find a title. You go through the nostalgia of where you were at the time and what you were doing to get each title. So you go through like this whole sort of what do you call it, nostalgia of when you got the item, when you hunted down the item, what are you doing at the time while exploring for that one title that you're after. The downside of it is, unless you have it, if you know, it's fine, but unless you know what the spine looks like, it's kind of hard to search for it sometimes. Then you have this other option which requires more cases, and you can get the specific DVD or Blu-ray bookcase, and this one's just a single shelf. It only holds one, and it only displays the spines. There's a lot who like that, and obviously you can make your own bookcases. Do what you want, do how you please. But I don't like it because it takes up more room than if you line it up up so you can walk through it. It feels like you're more in a roller coaster than a library. Usually these will be like 3-4 foot, while what I'm talking about is like 5-6 foot for the bookcases. The other option is to get an IKEA bookcase. Problem with IKEA is that they are purposely set in a location that is, if in the US, I'm not sure of other countries. In the US, they purposely set their stores in inconvenient areas, so you'll have to take a special trip to get to them. I don't like that. Where I'm at, I'm stuck between two stores, the Memphis and the Atlanta one. Technically, the Atlanta one location is a lot closer to drive, but due to how they want to postal region, I have to deal with the Memphis area. Why does that matter? Depending on the store, they might have more of the item or less of the item that you're looking for. For my setup for the IKEA store, I like the black or dark colors. For some reason, everyone in the manga too likes the white color. I don't know why, but for me to get 9 shelves out of one bookcase, double mind you, it would be the bookcase, 2 extra shelves, and a top extender. That's how I would get my 9. I could get more, but it depends on the height of your ceilings. Some would want to anchor them. I don't have the luxury of anchoring them to the wall, which is fine. That means I can easily move them whenever I want. I kind of, 2 years ago, I still haven't put everything up. The room that I am decided to stop having electricity to half of it. So I had to reveal an outlet, or reveal all outlets, to try to figure out if it's where it's shorting from. And apparently the quicker solution was to just reroute the circuit box for it to be on another breaker, so I can have a room with light. And due to the roller coaster of making videos, grad school work, and other things in life, I have not had a chance to restock my bookcases with I want to say a third of my collection. But that's fine. I know where they are, they're safe, and all that good stuff. Another thing to consider when you put in a bookcase is, how's your room's moisture? What do I mean by that? Well, every area has a different type of humidity. Like, as you can see right now, I'm sweating. Aside from the nice bright day, I don't know if that was a bad thing to do. And being in the South, where there's random pools of ponds causing humidity, your house is sealed well, you shouldn't have any of these issues. If it's not sealed well, you might have issues of termites that might enter your humble abode when they're not being told. So for those cases, I'm not sure when you would want to like plastic seal your collection. I'm still looking for more details of that, but that's something to make sure before you start putting stuff in a room. If it's moisture sealed, there's probably some tips and stuff online you can look at, but you want to protect